The seasons are changing once again. Fall is here, and winter is right around the corner. I have been battling an ethical and moral dilemma for several months now. If I say something, I could make problems for myself. If I don't, then this possible deception will eat at me. My name is Philip Page. I have been studying the possibilities of life after death for over 20 years. I hold degrees in business and psychology. I'm a registered qualified mental health associate and a member of the Parapsychological Association. What I am about to do could cost me subscribers and even this channel. But morally, I feel it needs to be done. You see, when people who work with those who have crossed over and make claims that what they do is real, the viewing audience will hold you to that. What may be overseen are your peers who are also watching and judging. Okay guys, now like what I have done in the past, I'm going to show the original creator's clip, then I'm going to show you my version of it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to examine the original clip with you and explain to you how I think the shot was created, and then I'm going to show you how I created my version of it. Then I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to follow up with the science as to how and why I think this could or could not actually take place in the way it was presented. Once again guys, this is only my opinion. I was not there when the original creator made his video, so I can't say that this is or is not for a fact a fake, but again, this is only my opinion. Alright guys, here we go.
Eddie? Is Eddie here? Can you open this drawer for me? Holy cow, guys. I'm just going to close my eyes and focus on that drawer opening. There we go. You saw me close my eyes, and it just opened. That is awesome.
Okay, so this is Phil. I'm going to see if they will do that again. So I just want to show you there are no strings here at all. None. Okay guys, so can you show everybody what you did? Can you do that again, please? Can you open that drawer? Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That was phenomenal. Thank you. Okay, so I am here. I have a mirror set up so that you can see that I am not touching it. That this is simply a connection with spirit that I have. And so I want to see if we can do this again. I'm going to concentrate. And if there is spirit here, who can open that again, who can do what you did again, please do it. There we go. Thank you. Okay guys, so I will get into the science of it later on as to the hows and whys of it all. If he did this the way that I think he might have done it, then he was actually pretty smart, and if you don't have some of the things that he has, then you wouldn't be the wiser. Now, the reason I think that he has done this a very specific way is because he has a background as a photographer. I have a background as a photographer, and I have, I think, some of the same software that he does. The difference is, this is why you don't see these types of things in my videos, simply because I'm not trying to make fan fiction here. I'm actually trying to document life after death, so that's why mine seem a little bit boring. But let's get into this. Okay, so one of the first things I want to point out here is how this actual scene is set up. We can see that there is a lighting source coming off from the right-hand side, stopped by either blinds or something like that, because you can see in the back how it's more illuminated, how the window actually seems like it's open. That's an old magician's trick. What's happening here is we're redirecting your attention to this particular area. It's fooling the eye, basically. So we have that lighter area in the back, it's going to darken that front area. That's how silhouettes are made. And since his dressers are normally dark, it's going to hide any type of thread that could be attached to that. With that being the case, there's still other ways to get rid of the thread, which I'll talk about later on. Okay, but I also think he filmed this in two different aspects. The mirror shot and then the dresser shot. I think there are two different shots, filmed the same day, and then sandwiched together, and then blended together. So that's what I think has happened with this particular shot. So let's go ahead and play and move on. Now we're getting into the handheld shot. Now this is the one that actually threw me. I wasn't quite sure how this one was done because it's so easy to do an effect on a shot that was done on a tripod. It's a lot harder to do something with something that's handheld that has some camera movement to it. But I think I know how this was done, and I mirrored it in my recreation, which again I will show you later on. Now, if we take a look at the actual handheld portion of this, it's very minimal. Yes, there is some movement going on, but not a whole lot. I actually put in more in mine. And then of course the drawer opens up. So let's get back into this shot here. If we notice throughout this, his hands don't pass the part of where the cross and the fan are at in this shot. And the reason for that is because this drawer, when it opens up, we see that reflection in the mirror in that specific area. And if there are two separate shots that are sandwiched together and there's a matte line that's there, then you're not going to want to cross that area, otherwise your hand's going to get cut off. Now see right here, we can see where the drawer has come in, and it doesn't cross the path of that fan. It's between the cross and the fan. And if we watch his hands, they don't cross that particular area. Technically you could cross it, but to be able to cut out your hand with the motion blur would be really, really hard, and it'd be very, very noticeable. So yeah, right there, that little arch right there. Watch his hands. It's not going to cross that area. The drawer opens up, hits that area where the fan is at. The method that I think he used on this is the exact same method I used on mine to get the job done. So let me show you how I achieved that. All right. Okay, I don't know if you can see it from here, but if I come in, can you see it? But see, if we're standing back and you're moving the camera around, excuse me, you can't really see it, can you? All right. Okay, so this is Phil. Let's see if they will do that again. So I just want to show you there are no strings here at all. None. Okay, guys, so can you show everybody what you did? Can you do that again, please? Can you open that drawer? Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That was phenomenal. Thank you.
Okay, so the shot was pretty straightforward. Once I filmed the raw footage, I just took it and put it into Adobe After Effects. Once it was in, all I had to do was enlarge the image and find where that thread was at. I would go into the effects panel and click on wire removal. From there, I could just line up where I wanted the start and the end of the wire removal to take place, adjust a few settings on the width, and what it will do is it will take the surrounding image in those pixels and blend them all together to literally hide the thread. It is something that nobody would ever be able to see unless you knew this effect was in existence. So this one was actually a lot of fun to do. What I had to do was cut out the left and the right hand side of the room, just leaving the dresser. From there, using the black string method, I just pulled the drawer open in order to get that effect. Once that was done, then what I had to do was just get a clean plate, what's called a clean plate, which is just the room by itself. And then I would cut out everything else but me and the mirror, keeping in mind that I was following along with the natural lines of the room so that everything would blend appropriately. I would sandwich it all together, and voila, there you go. You now have someone in a mirror who is able to open a drawer by quote-unquote spirit.
Okay, so now we're getting to the point where a lot of you are asking, hey Phil, you said you're going to mention something about science with all of this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get into some of the science behind this as to why I think maybe perhaps the original creator didn't really reach spirit to open the drawers. And it all starts with basic biology and chemistry of the human body. Now, it has been, if you can hear everybody walking in the background there, it has been medically proven. And by the way, I know that there are creators out there who say that what they do in the world of paranormal is scientifically proven, but yet they're not quoting their sources. They're not showing any lab tests that they have done. So in this part of my review, I will be not only quoting my sources here on screen, but I'll also have links to them down in the description below. And I will make sure to let you know what is fact and what is personal theory. What I'm going to be quoting is quotable sources, not Wikipedia, and also giving personal theory, okay, that led me to this description. Okay, so here we go. So it has been medically proven that the human body gives off magnetic radiation, electromagnetic radiation. That electromagnetic radiation is released through the body through forms of heat. Now, thermodynamics, the third rule of thermodynamics, tells us that energy does not die off, it simply goes into entropy. Or other sources have said into the chaos of the universe. In fact, it has been measured that there's enough energy within the human body to power a 100-watt bulb. Now, top universities such as New York University are doing studies right now, buddy's licking my fingers, on consciousness being energy. If that is true, which is something that I believe, if that is true, then what that means is that if we follow the laws of thermodynamics, consciousness, if it's energy, it doesn't die, it simply moves on into entropy. So what does that have to do with whether or not they can move a drawer? Because if everything is the same on the atomic field, then obviously they should be able to manipulate that and they should be able to move the drawer. If we look into the types of energy that there are, the types that would be needed to do this type of movement would be the kinetic energy, which is the physical movement of the object, and potential energy. Now, potential energy is energy that is at rest, that is being stored, that can be used later on to do any kind of movement that you would need. We can do that because we have this carbon-based container that we call a body that stores that energy. Once the body has died and the energy goes out, even though it's conscious, it's not stored into one container that can build up that energy. So, does that mean that the energy can't come back together to move something? I believe it can, especially if it's conscious and it's aware that it can pull itself back together to do something. But because it doesn't have a container to hold it in, I believe, again, this is personal theory now, that there would be enough energy to make something happen quickly, and then it would float back out in the entropy, then it had to build up again, and then move something again, and then so forth and so on. So that is why I don't necessarily believe that a drawer can be controlled open and done multiple times in one day, because of the kind of energy that it would take for spirit to pull itself back together, to make that action happen, and then to rinse and repeat. Alright guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you like this type of content, just let me know, put it down into the comments section below. And in the meantime, if you want to see some real experimentation with paranormal, go ahead and check out this video right here. Alright guys, in the meantime, I'll just see you next time. Okay, take care.